Lesson 11 for June 6 to 12, The Bible and Prophecy, read by Dr. Percy Harrold. Monday, June 8, The Year-Day Principle. One of the interpretive keys of historicism is the year-day principle. Many scholars throughout the centuries applied this principle to the time prophecies of Daniel and Revelation. They derived the principle from several key texts and from the immediate context of the prophecies themselves. Question. Read Numbers 14:34 and Ezekiel 4 verse 6. How does God spell out the year-day principle in these specific texts? Numbers 14:34. According to the number of the days in which you spied out the land, 40 days, for each day you shall build your guilt 1 year, namely 40 years, and you shall know my rejection. And Ezekiel 4 verse 6, and when you have completed them, lie again on your right side, then you shall bear the iniquity of the house of Judah 40 days. I have laid on you a day for each year. In these texts, we can see very clearly the idea of the year-day principle. But how do we justify using this principle with some of the time prophecies, such as Daniel 7:25 and Daniel 8:14, as well as Revelation 11:2 and 3, Revelation 12 verses 6 and 14, and Revelation 13 verse 5? Let's look at those texts. Daniel 7 Verse 25, He shall speak pompous words against the Most High, shall persecute the saints of the Most High, and shall intend to change times and law. Then the saint shall be given into his hand for a time and times and half a time. And Daniel 8:14, and he said to me, for 2,300 days, then the sanctuary will be cleansed. And Revelation 11, verses 2 and 3, but leave out the court which is outside the temple, and do not measure it, for it has been given to the Gentiles, and they will tread the holy city underfoot for 42 months. And I will give power to my 2 witnesses, and they will prophesy 1,260 days, clothed in sackcloth. Revelation 12, verse 6, Then the woman fled into the wilderness, where she has a place prepared by God, that they should feed her there 1,260 days. And verse 14, But the woman was given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness to her place, where she is nourished for a time and times and half a time from the presence of the serpent. And Revelation 13 verse 5. And he was given a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and he was given authority to continue for 42 months. 3 other elements support year-day principle in these prophecies of Daniel and Revelation: the use of symbols, long time periods, and peculiar expressions. First, the symbolic nature of the beasts and horns representing kingdoms suggests that the time expressions also should be understood as symbolic. The beasts and horns are not to be taken literally. They are symbols for something else. Hence, because the rest of the prophecy is symbolic, not literal, why should we take the time prophecies alone as literal? The answer, of course, is that we shouldn't. Second, many of the events and kingdoms depicted in the prophecies cover a time span of many centuries, which would be impossible if the time prophecies predicting them were taken literally. Once the year-day principle is applied, the time fits the events in a remarkably accurate way, something that would be impossible if the time prophecies were taken literally. Finally, the peculiar expressions used to designate these time periods suggest a symbolic interpretation. In other words, the ways in which time is expressed in these prophecies, for example, the 2,300 evenings and mornings of Daniel 8:14, are not the normal ways to express time, showing us that the time periods predicted are to be taken symbolically, not literally. And so to finish today, look at the 70-week prophecy of Daniel 9:24 to 27. 70 weeks are determined for your people and for your holy city, to finish the transgression, to make an end of sins, to make reconciliation for iniquity, to bring in everlasting righteousness, to seal up vision and prophecy, and to anoint the most holy. Know therefore and understand that from the going forth of the command to restore and build Jerusalem until Messiah the Prince, there shall be 7 weeks and 62 weeks. The street shall be built again, and the wall, even in troublesome times. And after the 62 weeks, Messiah shall be cut off, but not for himself. And the people of the prince who is to come shall destroy the city and the sanctuary. The end of it shall be with a flood, and till the end of the war desolations are determined. Then he shall confirm a covenant with many for 1 week. But in the middle of the week he shall bring an end to sacrifice and offering. And on the wing of abominations shall be one who makes desolate, even until the consummation which is determined is poured out on the desolate. We read that the going forth of the command to restore and build Jerusalem until Messiah the Prince in Daniel 9:25 will be a literal 69 weeks, or just 1 year and 4 months and 1 week. The prophecy makes no sense when understood that way, does it? What happens, however, when we apply the Bible's own year-day principle and the 70 weeks become 490 years?
Hi there. Thanks for watching this video on the Advent-band Ministries YouTube channel. Please subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon to be alerted whenever we upload new videos. So, until we meet him in the clouds, may God continue to bless you.
This lesson was read by Dr. Percy Harrold for Christian Services for the Blind and Hearing Impaired, Christian Record Services for the Blind, the Sabbath School Department, and Hope Channel. You can also listen on the official Sabbath School 4 app and the Apple iTunes app, Sabbath School with Percy Harrold. Remember, God is always faithful.